Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email me at tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing the sportiest of Cartier Pashas. This is the Pasha de Cartier Seatimer. 40.5 millimeters in diameter in stainless steel. It measures a svelte 12.1 millimeters thick, and then two ways to measure it. From lug to lug, the case itself is 46.9. If we measure the outermost rigid outcropping of the bracelet, the true distance across the wrist is 49.6 millimeters. It has a robust bracelet. It is a very sporty Pasha. You can see on my wrist, it cuts the classical stance, first coined by Gerald Genta when he designed the original modern-day Pasha in 1985. So this is very much a Gerald Genta design. It trades on the legend of a watch that may or may not have been made for the Pasha of Marrakesh in the 1930s, a watch that was supposed to be water resistant and dust resistant for the active lifestyle monarch. And while some have said the story is apocryphal, I still enjoy it, even if it is something of a tall tale. The watch, however, is very real, and on my 16-centimeter circumference wrist, you can see it sits well, being fairly narrow from lug to lug. It's a watch I can recommend for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference, and being surprisingly thin, it will fit underneath a dress cuff. Now, the bracelet is somewhat brutal and overbuilt. You can see the links are thick in cross-section, and there's no real taper down from the junction with the hinge-style Vendôme lugs, but the lugs do give it a nice compact fit for a fairly weighty watch. All of the links are in satin finish. Removable links are fixed in place using screws. You can see there's an intermediate-sized link in there for fine-tuning the size. And then we have a very thick-gauge steel twin-trigger release folding clasp. You can see the Cartier logo externally. Thanks to the twin triggers, this is going to stay shut until you positively release both sides. So it is set up for sports watch duty. You can also see that the bracelet is held on using screws and bars, which is a nice secure way to build a sports watch. I always love to see that instead of spring bars. Here we have a little blackened sort of pyramid cabochon on the canteen crown, which remains the most distinctive part of the watch. Now, canteen crowns were often used in the first half of the 20th century to obtain greater water resistance on watches that needed it. Here, of course, we have 100 meters of water resistance. We have the chain fixture so that canteen crown doesn't get away from you. You can see it features several rows of knurling that mirror the pattern around the edge of the bezel. And then, of course, we have a very small crown, but nevertheless, this very small crown can be used to actuate the caliber 2892A2. So we have right there the hacking seconds function. And then we actually have a quick set for the date right there. So this is an automatic winding watch. Once you get it up and running, if you wear it daily, you won't have to use that crown too often. The bezel, as you can see, is a dive bezel, unidirectional. Has a very positive and fine 120 click action. You line it up with the kite style minute hand, and we'll do a quick loom shot so you can see the Seatimer. And this is what you will time at sea. Note that all three hands are luminescent, something I like to see on a dive watch, as it clues you in to whether your diver is actually running should you be depending on it as a backup diving instrument. And how much do you love those Art Nouveau style numerals? I adore that open 6 and open 9, to say nothing of the 12 and the serif on the 1. Wow, a good looking watch, and a masculine combination of a white metal case and an intense dark dial. Inside the case, we have that ETA 2892. I believe they order a top grade 2892A2, bidirectional automatic winding, stop seconds, quick set date, 42-hour power reserve, 8 beat per second beat rate, and it pivots on 21 joules. It is a thin, fine movement that enables this watch to be just over 12 millimeters thick. So reach out to tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Pasha Seatimer.